So began with the pasuk Tziyon b'mishpat tefada v'shaveh b'tzedakah. So the Medrash says on this as follows: a mashal of a melech who the matronissa, his wife, brought to the marriage 2 precious gems. He gave her in turn 2. What's the nimshal? He didn't bring in, as Avraham said, Hashem loved him because he did tzedakah and mishpat. So he didn't bring tzedakah and mishpat into the chasana. The Eibishter gives him in response chesed and rachamim. The Medrash continues that he didn't lost it. So the king withdrew his. Then in the mashal, the matronissa then kishus atzma, makes herself kosher, and she brings them back, restores them. So the king restores his. Likewise, he didn't see the mishpat tefada v'shaveh b'tzedakah. That is what we have restored, that which we lost initially, as it were. And the Eibishter responds in kind with his chesed and rachamim. So the Tzemach Tzedek, that Tzedek explains that the chesed and rachamim that come as a result of the mishpat and tzedakah of Yidden, and it seems to imply the second one, the tshuva mishpat and tzedakah, not the initially bequeathed one of Avram. It seems to be the implication here. Is higher than stam chesed and rachamim, implying higher than the original chesed and rachamim that the Eibishter gave as response of the original possession of tzedakah and mishpat as a Yerusha from Avram. That's what he's trying to say, and he identifies that specifically as that the rachmim that comes as a result of tzedakah and mishpat of the avodah of a yid, not the Yerusha part, but the avodah component. So that's what given midas harachamim, which are revealed ultimately in Yom Kippur, and the chesed that comes as a result of the avodah of Yidden is chesed ein sof revealed on Sukkot. And the proti is, he said, that the chesed is nimshach tevat tzedakah, and the rachamim through mishpat. That's a summary of the first ois. So he added as follows: that the inyan of mishpat b'chalal is explained as Torah. In addition to that, the mishpat also goes on the self-judgment, the bitush, the ksisa, that the person applies to himself in his tshuva, crushing himself, to which is mamshich, given midas harachamim. Now, based on that, Rabbi adds even further that this avodah, therefore, of tshuva is even deeper when it comes in connection with, as our pasuk expresses it, the need for redemption, tefda and v'shoveha, which means the Yeridin Golus. That in the Yeridin Golus, when there's a need for pedia and hashava, which the pshat level means redemption and return, especially the other taich that the shaveh is not just return, but loshen shvuyim, from being not just imprisoned but in captivity. So there, the gamshach gufa of chesed, the Eibishter's chesed and rachamim, is the tachlis aliyah. Okay. So that's the whole general template of the Maimer, which he goes on to explain. The first pasuk of the second parak of Eicha is expressing, but all of the detail and nuance that he goes on to explain. So just overview. That was clear? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So continuing, the pasuk is Eicha Yoif Ba'apoi. Explains the pasuk stanza by stanza. First prefacing the Vata that Tzemach Tzedek that Eicha is like the klolos, the Teichacha. Just like the Teichacha Beprimis is Brachas and Aliyas, likewise Eicha. And then Tzemach Tzedek explains Eicha Yosh Leboded L'Maliyusa, including, as he quotes in the next verse, he explains our pasuk as well. But the Rebbe extends this to the entire Eicha. The entire Eicha is all L'Maliyus Beprimius, and especially, interestingly, as it brought in Kabbalah, that in Miyahu, the author was a nitzitz of Moishe Rabbeinu, which is why both use the word Eicha. As Moishe said in Pashat Dvarim, which always read before Tisha B'Av, Eicha Ucha Levadi Losei Says Amazeh. So what is the Inyan, the Pnimis L'Maliyus, that explained the pasuk of Eicha Yoiv Apay, that the simple taich is, how was his anger darkened? As Rashi explains it. So what is the Inyan of the Pnimius, the dark clouds? That's the Yedidya in Klippas Noiga. Not only Klippas Noiga, but Gimel Klippas Atmeis. So Malchus descending there, Eicha, how will it possibly ascend? And the answer is it can't, other than through tshuva. So through the avoid of tzedakah and tshuva, but in tzedakah as well, then zarech b'chosheich eirech v'yafal loseich katzarayim, and then the darkness becomes transformed. And the afela is the eir gadol, the isan oim and achosheich, and that is reflected in one of the nevuos, in fact, of the geula mi eila kaif tofena, who are these as Yishaya that are flying like the cloud, and that's just in accordance with Maimon Chazal. If we're zoiche, then they just elevates us like a cloud. So that is through the avodah of tshuva that this is achieved. Clear? Following the overview, the text of every word, assuming that we have the teaching from our previous, right, from having learned it. So there's the two types of and on, therefore. One is in Klippa, like in the Nevuos Yechezkel, the Ruach Sa'ara, the Av Onon. And the second is in Kedusha, that Moshe couldn't enter the oil because of the honor. Likewise, Moshe Nigashal had Ophel, which is even higher than Matan Torah. That is described during Matan Torah. So notwithstanding the extraordinary gili of Matan Torah, Yidden couldn't approach further, and Moshe did. Into what? The Ophel. So this is even higher. As we explained, this thing of the Etzem are higher than Gilu. So that is what he's saying. The Nevu and Yeshaya, mi eila. So he touches the details of the words here. That me, which goes on hela, who, amadiskasia, and eila, which these, which means gilu, as in eilish meis so you coming down lamata, but goli in amadiskalia. So mi eila, that these, the eila, are zeicha to this level and express the level of Amadiskasia. How is that? That's because the chibur of me and Eila, Amadiskasia and Amadisgalia, is the madrega of. It's more than madrega. That the inyan of Ka'ov, that's the Hela Ma'atzmi, which unites Bli Gvul and Gvul, Amadiskasia and Amadisgalia, the me and the Eila. So getting back to our pasuk, the Eicha Yoiv, that the Pnimius, it's the of and on the Kedusha. Now the diak of the word Eicha. So he says, based on the Tzemach Tzedek's beer on Eicha, the opening pasuk. So the Yud is the Eses Svirus. And it says in Medrash, the Yud goes on the Aseres Adibris, assuming it meaning that they had broken Aseres Adibris. But now the Pnimius, since I did it, but remember this Gemara Dikavot, since I said Sadibris Aisis Achkika, so what kind of Svirus, what level of Svirus are we speaking about? Not the Svirus of Ilamat Tzilus, but the Svirus of Eses Svirus Aknuzis. which have been carved, as it were, within the Ein Sof. So that's the madrega of the Yud of Eicha, Meiridik Darga. The Aleph, which is even higher still, meaning even higher than that's the Sfiras HaKnuzos. That's the Aleph Yud. Now what's Koi? Koi is Malchus. Koi means like. The Demus, as we explained. So that's the union of Malchus. So Eicha, only one word, is again the Chibur of Aleph and Yud with Malchus. And how has that happened? How is the Eichas also like the Mi'ela? How is the Aleph and the Aleph Yud and the Koi fused together? Because of Tufan, because of the Madrega Eicha Yo'iv, the Madrega of the Av the Kedusha, Av as the iron base, the cloud. It's a Chibur of me and Eileh. We're clear? We're not giving any explanations now, just the overview, so that, you know. Now it goes on to is weiter Mamshech in the pasuk. The pasuk continues that what darga of Yidden is Bas Tziyon. Al-Chayda Bas Tziyon is the lower darga. Because first is Biti, and then Achaysi, and then Imi. So why does he invoke Bas Tziyon? Because Adarab. Because Lasid Lovi Malchus is Nis'ala even higher than the darga of Ein. So here we mean, again, the Pnimius of Bas Tziyon in its ultimate aliyah. And how does that happen? Because through the Aved of Tshuva, through the bid of Av de Klippa, this is Magala the Av de Kedusha. And that's Bas Tziyon, because Bas Tziyon is the descent into Klippa, but through Tshuva is the ultimate aliyah. That's there has become not just Kizachis, but Zachis Mamish. And that's also the connection to Apai. What's the end of Apai anger? Because that's the end of Gevura. Tshuva is in the way of Gevura, as we explained. First and foremost, because it's Malamata Lamaila, but also because of the element of anger we explained. The pasuk continues in the Besbir and the pasuk. Hishtich Mishamai. This is Eis Daled now. Following what is following, yeah. Hishtich Mishamai Be'eretz Tiferes Yisrael. What's the end of Hishlich? Like he says, Migram Lebir and Bittashal. It's the Maliyusa. It's an avodah which is not the Seder Aralk, which is a B'dis Tzadikim, and it's the avodah of Tshuva. In addition to the fact it's Leba Shemayim, while avodah is Melamata L'Mayla, therefore it's Ba'oretz. But the other Indian is that's Hishlich. It's an oifen of what? Of L'Mayla Ma'akbala. Hiding is Talshalos. It was the word you used. It is, Radical. So through that's high in the vid of tzaddikim. So that's the touch in the pasuk. Echa yov apa yishlich l'shamayim modatz. Through the avodah of gevura apa, which is in tshuva, it's the gevura component of tshuva. I mean, there can be, as we say, other levels of tshuva, as we explained, that are more far less intense. Okay. He did do it, he won't do it. But then there's a gevura aspect of tshuva, that is ma'ira, the hishtich m'shamayim modatz, the ma'ira mishtalshalos. The madrega of Yo'iv, which causes the chibur of Eicha, Aleph, Yud, and Koi, or Mi Eila. Now the final words of the pasuk, like Zachar Adayim Ragla, but he didn't remember his footstool the day of his anger. So in addition to Rashi's Taich, that it goes in the base of Mikdash, it goes on what? And remember, Adayim Ragla, Adayim Lashon Dam, the bris of Avram. The schus of Avram was Hashem didn't remember. Now the Pnimis V'lei Zachar, what's the word? The word is that Malchus is no longer being Mekabel from Zoh, but the Shirish, that's Atzmi the Shirish of Malchus in this Galu. And the whole being of Rosh Chodesh, that Rosh Chodesh, therefore, it's a mile of a Shabbos, because Shabbos is the Aliyah, But the Chodesh, Malchus remains where it is. But nonetheless, even where it stays where it is, it's makabel from Chachma. That's why it's in the Kudah. So unlike Shabbos, which is an Ali, which is why you can do Malacha on the Chodesh, the Maliovas Chodesh is the direct chibur to the Sheresh Shemoker of Malchus. He added in the square brackets the Yism Siyas Malacha is a minig, and only to women, but the Pnimius, that's the Maila. Minig is even higher, and Dafka women who embody Malchus, who are Malchus, therefore they don't do Malacha because they're Margish, the Yom Tov here, the Sheresh Shemoker. And therefore it manifests in no work for them. It's Dafka minig because it's higher than the structure, as a minig is. So the Ikar Aliyah is going to be when Lasid Lover. But nonetheless, this Aliyah begins already now through the whole Avodah of Tshuva. That a Yid, who's the Malchus is the Yid, that the Yid himself connects to Chochma, which is both from Kloli, relatively speaking, Mailim Eshtal Shabbos. And why B'Yom Apoy? Again, because this points to another dimension here, related, points to Malchus as it is in its Hakabala. Gvura. So it's not that Malchus ascends from the Darga the Tachten. The Gavanis did a bit Tachtoinu. So it's in the Darga of Malchus, as Malchus is still Mugbal, Gvura B'Yom Apoy, that there Malchus is connected with Zachar Adayim Raglov, that the Malchus is connected to the Maile Mishtashas Lagamri. And then he added at the bottom, that's what's Yidua, that Lasid Lovai, the Kav will, we finish the sentence, the Kav does not simply end where, it like kind of in the depth of the Cholo, in the middle, like the imagery is like in the center, meaning all the way down. But the Kav connects to the Tachtisoi, in other words, from both ends, it's connected to the Ein Sof, and yet it still remains a Kav. That's the Chibur HaGvul and Bli Gvul. That's the Tachlis HaKavan. Malchus Bim Koima connected to Atzmas Ein Sof, huh? The what?
Saying the Tachten comes about because of the Cholo.
The Tachten comes
about
because of the Tzimtzum and the Cholo.
So it's not entering to the Tachten, it's just sort of.
So he says the Kav remains a Kav. The whole Kav is only a Kav as a result of Tzimtzum. Wouldn't be a Kav anymore. It's called the Kav Kotzer.
Huh? The Kav entering where to do what? To produce the Tachten.
Right. So till Avodah, the end of the Kav is what? Gvul, Gamarno, Tachlis Ahelim. But through Avodah, that stop becomes the place where the Atzmos is revealed, and symbolically, or in the language of Kabbalah, there at the Tachtis HaKav is mechuber to the Ein Sof. B'tachtisai. It's physical imagery. It means the Inyan. The Chibur HaGvul and Bli Gvul, which comes as a result of Gilu Etzem, which is the Madrid with the Av. Yoiv. Yeah? Clear? Yes or no?
I'm saying the imagery
yeah, the physical imagery is
that crossing, it's not entering, so then it's not going to the top.
It's hard to make a physical picture of this. Yeah. Uh-huh.
The Kav, like you said, is crossing the circle. It's
not but crossing, no, even in the imagery, the Kav is Nimshech, the circle, the outer perimeter of the circle. So what's beyond it is Ein Sof. What's under it means Tzimtzum.
Right.
So it's it penetrates through the Tzimtzum and produces a Kav. A Kav is only produced, a line, gradations in a likus is only produced as a result of Tzimtzum. And those gradations remain. It remains a Kav. It's not the Ein Sof floods, the Makam HaCholol, and Gamarna. It's not Ois Kav. It's a Kav remains. But it's Mechuba B'tachtisei to the Ein Sof. I don't know physically what picture we could make here, but the Indian is the Dafk and the Tachten is the Pnimius of the Ein Sof is truly revealed. And then he had concluded that through the limud of these Inyanim, so in the Shalmas Varm Svaseinu, we're Mamshech and hasten its realization. The Kodev, when you have Chimam, Ela Sasen, Ela Simcha, the Kodev Mamash about Gola Dida.